Hello. Let's get adjusted. Let's get in the room. Let's get in the room. Let's get in the room. Hello. This probably is going to be a little bit of a faceless, maybe because this just happened just now. And I want to just kind of like vent in instead of holding it in and getting mad and you know. Um, hmm This would have like this cigarette and get you a little shot of tequila moment. One of those. Let me see. Give me one moment. Welcome into this place. Welcome into this holy vessel. You desire to abide in the presence of your people. So we live. This is out. Look, this is the this is the monologue and the intro until I get to the video. I'm looking for something. Our hands, and we lift our voice as we offer up His praise into Your name. Welcome into this place. Welcome into this vessel. You desire to abide in the presence of your people, and we will lift our hands, and we will lift our hands. Okay, you know what? Hold on. Okay, so anyway, let me check something. Make sure my brother is okay. My brother had to leave. Let me jump on this. So anyway, tonight, um, I was sitting here minding my own business. I had just kind of just was chilling or whatever, and in this moment of this, we had some guests come over to the house or whatever, and it's a Friday night, so the best thing to do is as an adult, me being, I'm 37 years old, and for me, I've always been to the point of where um you take care of the young when they out here fucking up because you know how you was when you was that goddamn age, so being the responsible when I was one of them kind of lagged back, you know and it was okay. I didn't mind him staying in the house though, what I'm saying. My brother was tired too, so I was like, okay, we're fan, we got space or whatever, he cool. He wanted to sit up in the prince's room with me, in the prince room. Yes, I said prince. Okay, you can speak whatever you want to speak over yourself, but I will speak only royalty over myself. Fuck you. Listen, so we sat there chilling. He was drunk. I would say that. So one thing about me. Okay, let's learn this. One day, bitch, I want to meet Beyonce. I want to meet Desmond Crockett. I want to meet famous people. I want to meet people that make sense. So in those cases, a lot of times it is not good to always divulge a lot of information. So I've learned over the years to always hold water and always hold a nuclear bomb. So keep your mouth closed. So anyway, needless to say, I said that to say no names. So anyway, back to the situation. We're sitting there chilling. Now to give you insight into the situation, he's Hispanic. I'm black, of course. But that from the beginning we've known it. We've met previously before. We worked in the same location, so it wasn't a thing. For me, he's a DC person or whatever. I'm a Southerner. My heart is definitely Memphis, but my mind is in Houston, Texas. Neat. So so we know of each other. We cool, no problem. We've been out together before, no problem. This time he's really really drunk, so we're sitting there, so we're chilling. And they always say that a drunk mind, a drunk person tells no tales or whatever. And I came to you all just to describe this for me being a black gay man because for me it's deeper. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna take it to the deep part. I know I gotta be that person, but whatever. I think all things happen for a motherfucking reason. I know. I know. Okay. Fuck you. Now, we're sitting there and he was saying it was a movie, so he was saying is in, he said at first he repeated, "You don't know how I feel. You don't know how I feel." And then he went into another riddle in another cycle of he's gonna make America great. He's gonna make America great. You don't understand. You don't understand. And I was like, well, yeah. And so by this time, I'm kind of curious. I was like, so I said, he was like, what do you think I'm saying? I said, you sound like something is bothering you, but whatever that is, I said, it's your business, but you can't get drunk on your feelings because it just only increases whatever you feel, and it's not a good thing. So from my experience, I said, that's what I would do. He was like, okay, you with the old shit. You with the old shit. You're fucking bitch. I said, oh, okay. I said, all right. Okay, okay, a drunk bitch. All right, because bitch can mean many. You could have many different terms of bitch. Okay, let's recap. You can beach, 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 beach. You see how the difference of all of those were? Okay, back to the story. But it was the wrong one. So I didn't say anything because I know he was drunk. And then I'm trying to be like, okay, I'm gonna be patient, because child, listen. My deed my deed folk from South Memphis, and my mom them from Mississippi Beach. I'm gonna beat your ass, shoot you, then go down to the cornfield and bury you. Ho, leave me alone, because I don't have my mouth kid. So anyway, needless to say, he went on to saying that earlier we was talking about job opportunities earlier in the night before they went out, got drunk, came back. Anyway, during that moment, I was telling him about a black-owned nonprofit organization that was hiring and this and that. When he came back, okay, now we're gonna jump back into now. He says, "Yeah, I was thinking about it. I would never work for a black man unless he gave me 80K up front, because black people aren't good with finances." And child, I was shook. I sat back in my chair because I'm sitting over here on my couch. I'm across the room by the little nook where we at now, sitting in my chair at the computer, like, bitch. And so I turned around and said, okay. He said, yeah, because he's doing the right thing. And now, mind you, I'm like, wait a minute. I said, hold on. I said, let's go back. I said, so you don't trust a black person with money? He said, you mean? He said, not all of y'all. And I said, hey, siete, papi, siete. So siete means sit down, because he was standing up. I was like, siete. So I was calm. And then he said that, so I made it. Okay, let me give him the next part. This part right here. So he was saying something in reference to, I wasn't a real Republican, and that's when it clicked. I was like, damn, I thought he would be a Democrat because he's gay. I think Hispanics, I would think maybe. Like, no. Like, no, this bitch is definitely a motherfucking Republican, and that's okay. That's okay. But what you ain't gonna do is you ain't gonna get too many times to call me no motherfucking bitch. You ain't gonna get too many times to disrespect me. Okay. So moving forward, I had said something in reference to. I said, well, he is making America great again, isn't it? I said, you being Hispanic. I said, are you scared? And he was like, bitch, no. And I was like, oh, wow. I said, hey, I said, listen, man, listen, look at me. And I said, hey, look at me, man. Hey, listen. I said, that's bitch number 2. Okay. I said, I'm over here counting, player. I said, you young. And I said, how old you say you is, baby? He said, I'm not gonna tell you my fucking age. I said, oh, right. He is really drunk. He is really trying. He's looked tonight. He don't even know he got a southern motherfucker in here. Bitch, I'm gonna be gay, but I'm gonna uppercut your ass and Smith and Weston, you hoe. You don't disrespect the prince of the house. You don't do that. You don't disrespect the least holder. You got to disrespect him. Get out. When it get to the point we finna start cussing, I'm gonna walk outside. I've been in places. I've been put out of places that I had to get up and go because my mouth got bad. I said I got to go, but see, I can't. I did it And I got up, I left. But you don't start saying it and sit there. So then he went on to say that he said Obama was a mistake. He said, yeah, this country, he's gonna make it better, and this is and that, and we built this and built that, and we work hard. And so I guess he was talking in reference to the thinking about it now, he was talking in reference to the deportations or whatever, deporting people like Trump doing. And by this time, he's up, he's asked me for a cigarette, he's asked me to roll a blunt. He's back and forth, and he's back kind of being like a little bit aggressive. He walked up, be like, "Why you don't like me?" He was like, "It's you people," and so he was over and over again, and he was, he had already made references to, how he wasn't, as smart with certain things, and just going over it. He's Hispanic, and for me, seeing him in a sober point, I would have never thought that about him, and before long, he stood up, he kind of going back and forth. This will be at the end because I can't really just at this end. I said, listen. I said, listen. I mean, because at this point, listen, real talk. Hold on, y'all. I gotta check because my brother had to go take his ass somewhere before I've been in bust this bitch in the motherfucking head. Excuse me for cussing. I've gotten complaints from different people that have tuned in to me. I don't know where they are, so I'm not gonna show my face, but I guess that's a little bit better because I'm trying not to cuss as much tonight. But my experience with this was why I came to you was for you to listen to this crazy ass story at this time of night. Okay. You never know who people really are at times, so it's always good to give things time, and you need to see people in different seasons. You have to, baby. You got to see people in different seasons. You get what I'm saying? See them in winter, fall, autumn, summer, hell, heaven, hit, all of it. It's down, up, broke, rich, all of it. And you see how the character kind of lays out of a person. Because things can change, Not to say you people don't gravitate or go through situations that kind of, redevelop who they are as an individual. That happens. It does. But for me to see the side of him, I thought it would just be different because one thing I thought that we would share would be, which I've heard before, many different bloggers on YouTube, things like that, with him being gay, at least, we had that in common, But for him, he's taught, which I've learned that, most immigrants that come from Mexico, Venezuela, Spain, wherever they come from, they're always taught to be adjacent to whiteness because whiteness is the way. Okay. Listen, bitch, they live in America. Living in America. I'm living, trying to live in America. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to live in America, bitch. Okay. And I get that because of, we're not gonna have to go through that because that's down another rabbit hole. We're not going there. But I understand it because it's just generations of knowledge being passed down, of ignorance and this and that. Because he looked at, because how I understand now him, he looks at us because I've seen like that, like they don't like, I've heard a lot of Hispanics, they don't like us, they don't like black folks neither. Okay. But I thought he was different, but he's not. And that was my experience with him. Oh shit, that was my experience with him. I'm trying to see this my brother, but it's my experience with him. And I put him the fuck out of my house. After I almost slapped him with a motherfucking bottle. Because for one, hold on, y'all. Hold on. Okay, this is the last part. We might have to do two parts because my brother's gonna put me in. I know he's gonna come up to my room and say, "You okay?" Because maybe I done cut up tonight. Ooh. Baby, I cut up fast. Okay, there's my brother. But anyway, needless to say, It gets me because it's just something that I've experienced again, that I do understand why. I'd be like, nah, most Hispanics and they be cool as hell. Like, they ain't, but they sometimes, yeah, to be in person, yes, I see that. I'm not saying it's all of them, because I know plenty of Latino, Hispanic people in the community I love. They my people. You know what I'm saying? Like, real talk. I'd be like, yeah, they ain't tell me how to speak Spanish and everything. I'd be like, oh, I'd be so tired at work. I'd be, okay. Yo quiero ir a la casa. Oh, my Dios. Oh, cansado. I've learned how to, because it's rich in culture as well, in their own way. And I can respect that, right? Um, but he didn't respect that for black people, because in conclusion, I would say this: your people, of any of the Hispanic or other immigrants that have came to this country, okay, they have stood on the backs and the blood and the sweat and the tears of black people for the beginning of time, okay? And never forget that. The street that you walk, we paved it, bitch. We paved it. So, in essence of you having your freedoms, your justices, your rights, and your advantages in life, mm, guess what? It was paved by black people from the beginning. Hmm. So now you know, okay? Take that long drive. It is not to brag or to be, let me see, rambunctious or whatever, but it's the history that it be known that our generation of our people was sold and abused, and they would never even know the number of people, okay, that they enslaved, killed, and how we built this bitch, okay. And you came and y'all was it wrong too, okay. They flushed y'all out because y'all was over here too, okay. But when you came back, bitch, it was what we built. At the end of the day, when you got to respect that all of the rights and civil rights and stuff like that, people of color, it was black people. It became people of color, okay. But it was a collective fight. So let's see who wins this battle out with Trump. So to all of you, others and people and loved ones, thank you for being real, um, understanding, mm, knowledgeable, you know, and knowing where the fight has to be taken. Okay. But let's not forget, okay, many of black people ancestors, whew, just couldn't read. Okay, that's why Trump wanted to take everything out of the fucking museums, all the goddamn knowledgeable anything that's black. Okay, that's why the fuck you want to do it. You know why? Because, okay, you erase it, you don't know it, but it's so powerful. The thing is, you all should be proud of that, because it's the ground that you stand on. Cities have been turned into lakes and rivers. Communities, homes, families raped, burned, destroyed. Okay. Generations lost, legacy lost, names lost, religions lost, teachings lost, sold, traded, constitutionally, okay, marketed as cattle. Okay. Were you? No. Okay. So, not to brag, but let us not forget. Motherfucker, let us not forget where we all come from. We can do this together. Yes, we can. It's okay. Okay. My experience tonight does not make me swivel or shake, okay, or quiver in thought of Hispanic people at all. I met an ignorant one. I knew they were there, you know, but it's okay. But anyway, we are the shit. Okay. Saying that we ain't got to brag about it. We don't. We are the most humblest people. You think about it. You put a whole bunch of people in slavery for over 400 motherfucking years. You have stripped them of all of their heritage, their traditions, their items, their families, their names, their children, and you give them back after you have sold them to every country in the world, okay, for years, okay. When it's finally over 400 years later, over 400 years later, okay, you give them back a small portion, okay, and they are surprisingly grateful for that small portion, okay, because I mean, hey, we can live, even though the laws and the Constitution was not built for us. That we had to be weaved into it. If you don't believe it, read about it, bitch. I'm not gonna tell you, but amazing, isn't it? It's not amazing. And we come from that, and just for them to give us a little piece back, and then a black president and a very smart, educated black vice president, I would agree. Um, to now have a mentally disabled um hmm, behavioral youth in the office, in a team full of senile, unqualified, undignified, unsouthern, wrinkled, nasty, surly, ignorant, malignant, pignant, paw ignorant, pussy figment, whatever the fuck it is, ignorant, in the office. Okay. And it does bother me at times. So, but tonight after I've cut up, I thank God for my temper. Thank God for my brother. And because I could have slapped that bitch with a bottle, you know. I could have whooped that trick, whooped that hoe, whooped that hoe. She fucked your baby daddy. I could have did that, but I did not. I was very close. But God is able, right? You ain't gonna judge me, I ain't gonna judge you. We're just having a transparent moment. Okay. Why the house is back quiet? Because everybody know I'm mad. So now you can hear a pin drop in this hole. Because I'm an Aquarius, but I came through like a hurt recently. So I have a very much like usually solace of I ain't gonna get mad, I talk shit, but more likely I cry. Um, but the gangster still there. So tonight they got to see the gangster a little bit. Thank God I was almost gonna, you know, have to claim self defense for a moment, but we thank God that he got outside fast enough at the black person house that doesn't have common sense to add and make money. And he feels like we are losing a battle. And also um to him feeling like that our march he did say wow, that our march for George Floyd was pointless. Um you can kiss ass. Okay. Your people was out there too. I ain't gonna say that it's your ass. I ain't gonna say that all the Hispanic and Latino community. They ain't like you, bitch. No, they're not. Bitch mendigo. Okay. Madre de puta. Okay. I think it's pequeño pito. Pequeño pito. Because no grande pito. No grande pito. Okay, I'm done. At least I did it in the comic voice because everybody mad. I don't want to scream no more because I was already screaming. I just had to let myself get mad. But at the same time, when somebody jump at you in your house, though, real talk, you sitting in my house talking shit, and you said all of these reckless things about, and I've taken it in because for one, I'm taken back. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, wow, like it's in a mood because, like, okay, you know what? I was sitting there talking to myself. I was like, nah, Tank, JJ, Jeremy, Gerard, you are not from her. This man does not know you that well to know he cannot sit in your face and call you no bitch in your house and tell you disrespectful things about black people. Now, I know that, you know. Did I do that? Let me see. Did I do that? Okay, I'll make sure my mic. Okay. Um, he doesn't know me that well, and so you know he learned. Will we ever talk again? No, I'm okay. He can apologize, but I'm okay. I know he's drunk. Okay, but that drunk mouth told no tales tonight. I mean, he was serious about it. He repeated it. Okay, and I gave him about a good 30 minutes of that. Good 30 minutes of that. You know. Um, but when you were intoxicated, I'm 5'3". If you all don't know. Okay, 5'3". Um, so he's up about almost 6 feet. So for me, let me see, I was like beat. I was beat up like maybe like a year or two ago. I got beat up at another store. I got beat up, and kind of kidnapped a little bit. But I'm not gonna talk about that. Still in court. Um, but since that experience, um, I understand what women say about being abused and stuff like that because me being a man, I always like if I got to fight, I was always a little feisty. So, but to be um let me see what's the word I'm looking for. To be to a point where you can't do nothing, basically, you know, defenseless and like, you know, that was an experience. So anyway, he don't know that about me, but if you walking up on me like, grabbing me or like give me like stuff like, hey, chill, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't know me, like chill, and I'm short, so he's really like kind of taking advantage of it because he kept on saying something about he's been making reference to my height, you know. And me being short or whatever, they ain't got shit to do with shit, bro. I'ma uppercut your ass, bitch. That's what the fuck that mean, ho. Now I'm saying trying to be nice to your motherfucking ass, trying to be civilized and trying to help you start out your motherfucking drunk ass thoughts and let you know that you are important to the motherfucking earth because you keep on feeling like you ain't shit and you feel like black people are you really feel like black people are the problem and some black men took your job, bitch. Motherfucker. But at the end of the motherfucking day, let me shut up. Moving forward. We're done. 2 more minutes. Um, you know, instead of me doing that, you know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't know me that well not to do that, you know. But it's cautious to him though, like, and I will say this. I gave him I'm the type of person where I know back in the day, people try to judge me for my past, but bitch, I don't live there no more. So fuck what they think about my past. But anyway, um, back in the day, you know, I used to be a little bit angry. Okay, a little angry. And being a little angry, got in a little trouble, So now I've learned after therapy, I've learned to speak out and at least inquire about what you're saying and try to make sure I'm understanding the right way and not take it for something offensive because I haven't got mad and popped off and slapped bitches with chairs and shot in the roof and kick your baby in the forehead and everything, and it wasn't even that. So I've grown to that. So I gave him 3 times. It's like, hey, listen, could you not do that? Okay, you disrespecting me in my house. I don't like that, bro. He was like, I don't give a fuck what you're saying. I said, hey, I know you're drunk, but real talk, you really sliding with me. Like, stop. And he thought I was playing. I was like, this here. I stood up. I was like, hey, bro, listen, Stop. I don't get no fuck. You short bitch. It's like, okay. And then you've already talked bad about my people too. The same people, the only reason why you're standing here on this same land, okay, is because of my people, okay? And a collection of other brilliant minded people. A few of yours as well. Not as many. But anyway, this is just a PSA of, be aware of who you encounter. Um, you know, if you encounter something like that and it's out the blue, the first thing I feel like you should do is don't get mad, ask questions, see how because you have to be the bigger person in the situation as well. But if it gets to the point where somebody's grabbing you, finna pull on you, calling you bitches and hoes, shit like the end in your house, and you almost 40 and bitch you 26, 27, hoe. Bitch, I finna pop the fuck off of you. You disrespected me. You have disrespected me in so many different ways. Bitch, you've disrespected my ancestors, my mama, my grandmama, heal the system, who we are. We ain't shit. Okay. Oh, girl, oh, what Trump? Okay, so we the lords of y'all. Okay. So you're gonna be adjacent to being white. And the thing is, okay, the last thing is, before I close, let the church say yes. That's hey, you can start saying it. Yes. 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 Let the church say yes. Yes. Yeah. 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 Okay, so the last thing was I want to say giving unto God today who was the head of my life. No, but seriously. It's if you don't know. I was homeless. Long story short, I went through a situation, downfall, it was bad. Learned a learned lesson. And yeah, it was a thing. So anyway, I went through that, and I've always any of the apartments or where I've rented my stuff. I've been in my house since I was 17. I always like really decorated and had like nice stuff because maybe of course I'm a gay man. Girl, y'all the fuck okay, bitch. You can keep you can keep that same pillow that came with the couch, honey. I'm going to go find me the whole rack, honey. Give me a full thing of red, please. Give me 6 of those. Give me 7 of this. Can I get some curtains or paint and glitter over here? Okay, get some candles. Okay, get some sage and go clean. I'm like that. It's my thing because I like home to feel like home. So anyway, after my situation, God really, really, I'm telling you, thank you, Jesus. He really blessed me on getting back. You know, I'm cool. So the house I'm in now is a beautiful home. I love my landlord. She's a black woman. She's brilliant. Okay, and she sees the brilliance in me. Um, and she's very wise. Need to say. So she's more than just my landlord. So anyway, I rent the house. I know it's gonna be expensive. It's DC. This is it. So anyway, um, my play brother moved in with me. So basically, this house, this, for tonight, whatever. So anyway, while he was saying one of these things, he was sitting on the stool. He said, he looked up because he recently lost his job too. To give you another, um, you know, note to take. He had recently lost his job, so he was looking up, and I have like the lights up. You see the live sometime. I got the lights and stuff like that, things like that. And coming to what I came from, sleeping in the backseat of that Ford Taurus, real talk. And the people that meet me that know me personally, they say all the time, they say you are so unmaterialistic. I am. I am not materialistic. I decorate pullets in it, but I am so just like not materialistic because it's just things. I think about in the back seat of my car on a Thanksgiving Eve, in the cold back seat with a piece of cover, you know, shamed, hurt, disappointed, you know. Mm, you know. So that would be on my mind. So I'm not materialistic, but I thank God for my home, needless to say. And I praise God every day because he be like, your house is so pretty. Yes, it is, right? Yes, it is, you know, but God is blessed, honey, you know. Now listen, you know. But I miss home. That's another topic. So, but anyway, for right now, it's what it is. But for me, I think it's okay. I mean, my mama has a nice house. Okay, girl. Okay, but whatever. But it ain't nothing like extravagant, bitch. I ain't rich, ho. You seen the background, ho? It's average, honey. It's very, very much average, ho. Okay, this house was built a long time ago, honey. Okay, I just threw up a light, threw a little paint, threw up a curve. That's it. He says, like, how do you live like this? Like you know. That comes back to me now. He said that. Like, see, this is what he said, this is what he was talking about. And I like to think he didn't say who, but in my head, he was already referring to Trump. And that was one of the main topics of the conversation that we was going through that whole time. And I can remember saying he did, you know, people are taking their jobs, stuff like that, this and that. I don't know. But I thank God for well, I mean, and I don't I don't care about shit. You know what I'm saying? I just thank God I have roof on my head. You know what I'm saying? I think that's why I can have it now because before I wouldn't be able to have it, I don't think. Because before I would be, you know, but then I'd be like, girl, please don't go in my room, shut my door. Okay, girl, fuck that. I see why my mama, okay, she decorated her house, honey, and went in her room and shut her door and told us to leave her the fuck alone. I didn't understand back then, but mama, I understand now. Now. So anyway, in closing, um, I am grateful. I am aware. I am woke. Okay. I'm woke on knowing who the fuck we are. I am woke on knowing what the fuck we have to do. I am woke on who the fuck our knowledge and our power lie from. Okay. And I know with our history, it is just known that we are resilient as people. Okay. And very forgiving. The only thing white people ever feared was that one day we would get really, really, you know how why they separated us, keep us so divided, even amongst like redlining and Jim Crow and even after slavery and shit, because they were so scared that if they could see us together, okay, if we were strong, that we would take revenge. Really thought that's why a lot of them be scared. They be so scared that one day we're gonna take revenge and we're gonna do everything that they did to us for 400 years. We would do it to them. They're scared of that, and we don't even care about it. We like, look, just give us our 40 acres in a mule beach, and we good over here, okay? And that is, you know, when you think about that, for black people to be that forgiving, never to take revenge on white people after that shit, which I know the fuck we could have, especially during Malcolm X time. They killed all our leaders because they knew, bitch, they were scared of that hoe. They had to kill them. I'm telling you, they had to kill Malcolm, they had to kill Martin, they had to kill Freed, they had to kill these people, okay? Okay. It's just what it's white people have. Listen, if they knew if these folks combine these folks gonna kill our asses, bitch. We gotta kill them. They don't need no motivation. This whole done got up here and started talking, and they are gathering, they are galvanizing outside. Okay. These niggers are trying to what the fuck they're doing, you know? And it scares them. So their creation of things and how things will work in the future will keep us divided because together we're so strong, you know. We are so strong. Um, and we're forgiving and we're loving. You know, that's really honestly the heart of God, whether they like it or fucking not. That's true. That's why we truly come from the earth. Okay. God is a loving and forgiving God, and we forgive them after all of that, bitch. Okay. Now, sometimes you know, I think that the day will rise that we will have to go and take back like the render clock. So I gotta go and take it back because you ain't gonna give it to me, bitch. You ain't gonna give it to me. So I got to go and take it back. And it's okay. You know, you can go and take it back with us. Just don't step in our way on the way there to the steps. Okay. Mind your business. Join along, honey. It's going to benefit you, of course. Have you seen it? Your people are here too. Since that benefited you, join this race and it will benefit you even more on the next time. Be smarter this time, my other people. Follow the black people. Say what the fuck you want to say. Okay. We built your line. We built your homes. We created things. Okay. That we all enjoy. No shade intended. It's the fucking truth. Stand together, know who the fuck you are. But do not underestimate us because we're black. We're resilient, bitch, and we're smart. Okay? You've tried to put us down for years and years and years. And guess what? We're like motherfucking cockroaches from the goddamn hood. Okay? Raid can't even kill us. Okay? Gorilla Glue can't trap us. Okay? The sun can't burn us, bitch. Okay? Okay? Let me tell you something. We can drink E&J, Hennessy, okay, and Parmesan all in one night and not even throw up. Okay? So stand in fucking line. Have respect for who we are. We are together. But still though, you know. Anyway, that was coming to you. I got that off my chest. Thank you for letting me get it 40 some minutes of blabber off without the camera on. I ain't feel like being on camera today. I was just girl, he gave me something. My eyes went to twitching and shit. And I don't want everybody to be on here to myself. Oh my God, are you having a stroke? Bitch, no. Okay, I got mad hoe. Okay. And I turned it to split. And the other side almost came at. I ain't trying to go back. I'm trying to move forward. You know, people want you to live in the past on who you are. I ain't gonna be that person no more. This time, at least I give you warnings. Then I smack you in my presence anyway. Especially when you walking up on me. Okay, huh? I'm 5'3", bitch. Listen, okay. Third time I'm shooting you. Excuse me, I'm gonna give you one shot. Hello, okay. You know, be careful. You can't, you know, everybody's not the same. You know, respect people's boundaries, respect, like even whether you're drunk or not. So anyway, be aware who you're around. Don't let one person make you feel like another group of people are all that, because I don't. And you shouldn't. Okay. That's why I listened as well. But we know people are ignorant, right? But so anyway, thank you for tapping in. Oh, yeah. Sorry. That was a long time. Subscribe. I gotta smoke this. Yeah, I talked to y'all last like I mean, woo child. I don't know if it was a podcast. What should I name this? Yes. Crazy. 400 years. And we will never know our last fucking names. You know that? Because you know how it is. Like we took on our slave masters' last names and passed. That's why you got something like Johnson, Smith, you know, Andersons and whatever along the way, you know. That's why. Ain't that shit sad? And they can trace their shit all the way back to the queen. And we don't even make no noise about it. You got the audacity to be sitting up here taking stuff out of our goddamn museum. Bitch, I'm telling you. Y'all gotta stop. We white folks gotta stop pushing the button. Okay? We have been loyal and quiet enough. Okay, we got a little rowdy with Rodney. Okay, but this is 2025. Okay, if you you think George Floyd was something, babe? Okay, now listen. Now right now it ain't our fight because we feel like you know the people that voted for him, what they got to do. We sitting down right now, but you know, but yeah. Let me get back crazy ass off. I love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Oh yeah, please subscribe. You know, I haven't got that many subscribers, but I'm trying to do better. But yeah, come and support me. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe. And then I was come back and tell y'all a story, another story about how I met. Damn, can I say that? No, I can't say that because I might get sued. Anyway,